afternoon, Paranerds. I hope your day is going absolutely fantastic, and I want to welcome you back to the 31 Days of Halloween. That's right, we are continuing my series on 31 of my favorite horror movies. And today, I am proud, absolutely proud, to bring you a movie that not only stars quite a bit of heavy horror hitters, but introduces a new horror villain that becomes quite memorable. And today, we are talking about
Wes Craven presents. He will tempt you with your every desire and will turn your wildest dreams into your worst nightmares. Wishmaster. Be careful what you wish for.
Directed by Robert Kurtzman. Rated R.
Wishmaster. Yes, Wishmaster, the movie about the evil jinn. What is Wishmaster? Well, in the beginning, God created life into the universe. Light gave birth to angels, earth to man, and fire gave birth to the jinn. Creatures condemned to dwell in the void between the worlds. Unless one escapes. And if he escapes, and he grants his awakener 3 wishes, he is able to bring his brethren forward and create hell on earth. This movie is absolutely one of my favorite movies. Top 20 for sure. The cast in this movie is fantastic. The direction by Robert Kurtzman. First time director. I'm pretty sure first time director. I had a chance to meet him a few years ago at a convention. And I had told him that I absolutely loved this movie, but I was too nervous. I still was in my starstruck days where I was too nervous to talk to anybody still. And I wish I would have talked to him more, because this movie is just, it's done brilliantly. The practical effects in this by K&B Effects. Thank you for bringing a horror villain like the Jinn to life. Let's talk a little bit about this movie, and then we'll continue on to why I love this movie. So, this features numerous heavy horror hitters like Robert Englund, Angus Scrimm, Tony Todd, Kane Hodder, and Reggie Bannister and Ted Raimi. Now, you might be like, oh, I recognize some of those names. So Robert Englund, obviously Freddy Krueger. Angus Scrimm, the tall man from the Phantasm films. Tony Todd, Candyman himself. That's another film. Unfortunately, it didn't make it onto the 31 days, spoiler, but we are going to be going through the whole Candyman series because I have a Scream Factory Blu-ray coming that I bought, and I cannot wait to not only share the unboxing with you, but talk about that movie because it's a great, fantastic film. Kane Hodder, who plays Jason in I believe it was part 7 and beyond. I believe it's final chapter, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason X. Or Jason Goes to Hell and then Jason X. I believe those are where he played Jason. My absolutely favorite Jason. Kane Hodder is Jason to me. I love Kane Hodder. This film also has Reggie Bannister in it from the Phantasm films, and Ted Raimi. Fucking love Ted Raimi. Last year when I was at Motor City Comic Con, I saw him walking around, and I wanted to say hello, say something to him, but he wasn't there as a special guest. He was literally just there as a guest, and I didn't want to bother him. But I just wish I would have just said, "Hey, you're Ted Raimi. You're fucking awesome, and I love you." I wish I would have said that because I'm a huge fan of Sam Raimi's films, and Ted Raimi. Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, Jocks Arizina. Come on. It's fucking Ted Raimi, man. I love Ted Raimi. And to see him featured in this film, small cameo, but even just to have him featured in this film, A plus. Thank you, Robert Kurtzman. According to a 2016 interview with Pop Horror, it took Andrew Divoff, who plays the Djinn masterfully, 3.5 hours to get into makeup and an hour and a half to get out. It seemed like he didn't mind. I'll get into more of why he didn't mind, but he also said his absolute favorite scenes of the film is when he's with his monstrous creations and featured with his monstrous brethren, and boy does he come up with some fucked up creations, and it's amazing. In the commentary, it is stated, oh yeah, this is interesting. In the commentary, it is stated, while filming, someone had broken into one of the sets, stole all the cameras. What the F, dude? Really? That's some bull crap. Like, how rude can you be? That, I don't want to get into that. That kind of stuff pisses me off. Like, movie makers, man, they're even like the low budget guys and the guys that, you know, they're not paid millions by a studio and producers and blah blah blah. Like, come on, that's their property. That they're trying to make a living, and you're gonna just makes me angry. I'm sorry to all the filmmakers that have had to deal with things like that, and to everyone that had to deal with that in this experience. Wishmaster was a great experience. I had a very short schedule and had to deliver the film into theaters in 6 months, start to finish. So it was very stressful, but very fulfilling. Sam Raimi actually recommended me for the film, and after a half a dozen meetings with the studio, I got the job. I had to go in and pitch my take of the film and its design. We shot in 33 days in LA, which was tough as we had dozens of locations all around the city, and we had a lot of company moves. We had hundreds of visual effects, which was a bit of a challenge as the schedule was tight. I was very lucky to find Andrew Divoff and Tammy Lauren. Divoff is a very close friend who I enjoyed working with on whatever we can find together. We now have this second hand when we work together, according to Robert Kurtzman. I think it's supposed to be second film. I think either I mistyped that or the where I found that piece of trivia from was misplaced. Robert Kurtzman does a fantastic, phenomenal job in directing this film. I have to admit, the very first time I watched this film, I was blown away. The special effects, the practical effects of the creatures and the designs and of the Djinn itself, amazing. The Djinn looks so awesome in this movie. Andrew Divoff, who plays the title Djinn, and the human form Nathaniel Demarest when he steals the face. So creepy. So wonderful. Plays a very memorable horror villain. Absolutely stole the show. I've been a big Andrew Divoff fan before this movie, and I didn't even know he was in this. It was one of those, I came across it and it sounded interesting. I popped it in, and then when I saw him pop on screen for the first time in human form, I was like, holy crap, I know that guy. Oh my god, he's amazing. And when I found out, because there's a lot of movies out there where they have the human is played by an actor and then the creature is played by a different actor. No, he played both parts. And he plays the Wishmaster with such cunning and And it's not one of those where he cracks a lot of puns. There are a couple puns which are done very well, but he's very articulate. He's very manipulative. He's very villainous and malevolent, and you you start to root for him. You hate him at the same time, but you start to root for him, and kind of his awakening of the very first time we see him, he's in ancient Persia, and now we see him in modern day Los Angeles, and you kind of see how he has to adjust his manipulative state to fit modern times, and it's done so well. Again, the practical effects are great, the talented cast, so many great horror heavy hitters. The main cast is phenomenal, great direction and storytelling. And like I said, Andrew Divoff playing the Jinn, he's so haunting and just so wonderful as this character. And then to find out, Andrew loved the character so much, he wrote a script/screenplay for a third film, which is amazing. There are 4 films. 4, yes, I believe there's 4 films in this. I've only seen the first 2 because the first 2, Andrew Divoff plays the Jinn. And then after that, probably didn't like the script. I'm not 100% sure what happened, or he had wrote a third screenplay and they turned it down, so he was like, fine, I'm not going to play the Jinn. And you can tell the third and the fourth movies were just cash grabs to piggyback off the name of the Wishmaster. It's one of those things where it's a human, a regular actor playing the human form, and an actor playing the creature. Which, if you're gonna be if I was an actor, I'd want to be the creature and the human. It's just me personally. That's what I would want to do. That's something that would be so much fun and so cool to do. But to each their own, I understand. But to write a screenplay because you love the character that much, that's awesome. I really wish they would have continued. He was so great as the Jinn in both films. They changed the design of the Jinn in the second film, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I really liked the design of the Jinn in the first film. He looks so creepy and menacing and evil, and just has that demonic, evil genie look to him. But it wasn't meant to be for third and fourth. But that's okay, because I have this movie, which is one of my absolute favorites, and the second movie, which is still good, all thanks to Andrew Divoff. We'll see that movie down the road a long while later. I'm going to be doing something different for next month, but we'll get into updates and all that later. Tammy Lauren, who plays our female protagonist, talented actress, absolutely beautiful. She uses her intelligence, cunning, bravery to outsmart the Jinn at every turn. Tammy Lauren is fantastic as Alex. She played that character so well. You see her have this strength and intelligence, and it builds throughout the film. And it's not one of those. She's like one of the ultimate final girls, like Jamie Lee Curtis and Sigourney Weaver. It was one of those badass female final girls. I love that. That's awesome. So, featuring such superstars as we said, this film got my blood pumping and my heart racing, and it was so much fun to watch. And even now today, after so many viewings of this film, it's still so much fun to watch. To try and impersonate Andrew Divoff's voice and share the lines with him, which is something I do quite a bit in horror. When I watch horror movies, I'm a weirdo. I'm proud to be a weirdo, but whatever. But it was an interesting tidbit, was like how he does the voice. he used jelly beans, and I don't understand what they meant by he used jelly beans. I don't know if he was chewing them or if he inserted them somewhere to kind of get that vibrational tone. I almost said monotone, but it's not monotone. He has this deep guttural sexiness too about him in his human form. You see it. He uses that to his advantage, and it's just I love this film. Robert Kurtzman, I love you as an effects artist, and I love you as a filmmaker. Such a great job, and thank you so much for bringing this film to light. It needed to be done, and you did a fucking phenomenal job with it, and I thank you so much for that. I love this film. I cannot get enough of this film. Thank you so much. I give this 5 gins out of 5, and I warn you to be careful what you wish for. Thank you so much for continuing with me on my series of the 31 Days of Halloween. This has been an absolute blast to record. It's coming to an end very quickly, and it's making me very sad. But I have some fun videos planned coming up, and I'm going to be doing a separate video, just doing an update on all that stuff. But I thank you all so much for watching, and remember, we truly live in a weird world. So go out and experience.